Welcome to the T-Bird Training Center's 21st Century Classroom. I'm your presenter, Trina Bird. The T-Bird Center is approved by the New Jersey Department of Education. We're also listed on the ETPL New Jersey TOPS provider list, and we have approval through the New Jersey Department of Labor. The T-Bird Training Center has been approved and providing state-of-the-art hands-on training curriculum since 1990. Our years of experience has provided us with steady and strong completion rates of 95% and a job placement rate of average 80%. We pride ourselves in providing our students with the direct tools needed to obtain employment and, most importantly, entrepreneurship as their additional part-time income. Not only are we known for our very comprehensive curriculum, but our commitment to our students before, during, and after training. Our student support prior to training, and this is before students are even approved to come to our school. We assist them with several complimentary online webinars that are live. And so our first and most popular is Changing Careers with New Technology Skills. This is so important that people understand what technology is required for these new 21st century jobs. And oftentimes, your clients will be leaving a job that they may have had for several years and now re-entering the workforce, and they may not be so in touch with what technology skills are required. So this is something that we offer to anyone that actually inquires about our training programs. And it's free of charge. There's no strings attached. We don't hound students to come to our school. It's something that we want them to be knowledgeable of, regardless of what school they choose. Next is our First Fridays webinars. These webinars are held every first Friday of the month. Topics include budgeting, financial tracking, money management, and more. These workshops are designed for the individual who is unemployed and maybe need to look closer at their finances and determine how much money they need to make in their upcoming job, how they can survive on their unemployment, how they can manage their money a little bit better since their income has been changed. They're very hands-on and very knowledgeable workshops that would help anybody. We try to focus in on job seekers, entrepreneurs, senior citizens, and even business owners, people who are having difficulty with their finances. First Fridays is our finance information day. So we offer these very valuable workshops. And all First Friday workshops are free. Next is our Technology Tuesdays, where we focus on technology literacy basics, technology literacy when it comes to using technology, computers, smart devices, etc. in the workplace. In addition to that, we do our information website workshops where we give you a lot of important websites that you need to know if you are looking for a job, starting a business, but mostly for job seekers, people who are not as savvy on using the internet for their job search or not as savvy using social media for their job search. And lastly, we also do what we call our interviews segment, where we give you tips on how to successfully conduct phone interviews, internet interviews, online interviews, as well as the traditional method of doing an interview. And we also give you tips on how to be successful in those interviews. These, again, are all free, and these are actually offered once a week, every month. Then, of course, we have that Changing Careers webinar that matches the Changing Careers Technology Skills Workbook, and that is held upon request. So when we get like 3 or 4 people who are interested in changing careers, we offer that to them live, so that not only can you attend the workshop live, you also get a feel for how to use the online training that we offer, and you get exposure to how you can learn right from the comfort of your smart device or your home computer, and also get great tips on changing your careers and also adding technology skills to your skill set. So definitely an advantage that we provide to all of our potential clients. Now, what we provide after graduation, students have up to 1 year to take as many additional online training classes to support their new job and career. And we have over 50 different online workshops that we make available to our students for free. So our objective for the T-Bird Training Center online training classes is that we provide daily a live instructor-led hands-on training program to prepare your clients for any office administrative position in any industry that they desire, simply because Microsoft Office and QuickBooks is a requirement for any successful business. And having these skills is a prerequisite for obtaining any employment that offers a career. In addition to preparing the clients for full-time and part-time employment, we also provide that job preparation and, of course, the skill set to start that part-time job as an entrepreneur position, because most folks don't make enough to provide for their families like they would like to. They all, look for additional income, and so we provide that as well. The structure for our training is as structured as an on-campus training classroom. We are very strict in the entire day of class. And to review that, classes are scheduled for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, and you are required to attend between the hours of 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Thursdays and Fridays are what we call hybrid, and the student sets their own hours. As you can see, our scheduled outline from 9 a.m. to 9:15, the student logs into the T-Bird training portal, and they are able to download their assignments for that day. The online portal will track the time they log in and the time they log off, including the time that they take for their break for lunch. From 9:15 a.m. to 10 a.m., students will complete their typing tutor, as well as complete the worksheets from the assignments that they downloaded in the morning. They will also conduct their job search, which is a daily activity after week 2, when they revisit and recreate their confidential resume and their job search letters. And in week 1, we actually show them how they can set up all of their job search activity websites so that they can interact with the jobs that are available in their area, as well as resources that we provide them. From 10 a.m. to 12 p.m., students will actually receive a live instructor-led lecture. And I want to stress, this is live. So not only will the students be able to see the instructor live, they will also be able to see their fellow classmates. And in this time period, we go over all the program basics. So if we're in Microsoft Word, we will teach them the fundamentals of using the program. And then we also go over all the exercises and worksheets that are required for that particular day's projects and assignments. Then we break for lunch. When the students return at 12:30, they are assigned to a group. So if we have 6 to 8 students, which is our maximum in a classroom, we will assign groups of 2 and sometimes 3, depending on the size of the class. And those students are required to work independently as a group. Now, groups are assigned by the instructor, and the instructor can actually click into the group session and monitor the progress that the group is making, regardless of the number of groups. Other groups can also contact other groups if they wanted to talk to one of the other fellow students and they had a question among students. They can also interact as well on that platform. So this is a real live environment, just as you would have in a classroom, except that it is more structured, number one, and it is more comfortable, because the person who may not work really great in an environment where other students are there and they're afraid to ask questions and all that, that doesn't exist, because students can ask their questions. They can raise their hand, and our portal will be able to let the instructor know that there's a question, and not only can I click on that particular group or that particular student, I can also take control of their computer and show them, as well as the other students on the training platform, what I'm doing on that particular student's computer. And then, of course, they can see what I'm teaching them on my computer. So it's more interactive than even in a classroom setting, because typically in a classroom setting, the teacher has to go from one desk to another. Here, everyone can see everything simultaneously. So it's more hands-on, it's more personable, and it's more effective. The next part of our schedule is from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. You students are completing their assignments, and they are working within the actual software program. Then the instructor comes back on at 3 o'clock, and I can also, as an instructor, zoom in at 1 o'clock, between 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock, and see the progress. Again, look at their computer, see exactly what they're working on. If they're having any difficulty, I can assist them. I don't necessarily have to, rely on them to ask a question. I can zoom in on their computers and see exactly what they're doing. From 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, we do a live review. We turn off the group process, and everyone sees everyone all at the same time again, as we do in the morning hours. And we do a live review, and then we actually do an interactive quiz. So not only do students create their written quiz, we actually review that quiz in that day. And then students have the opportunity up until between 4 o'clock p.m. and 6 o'clock p.m. to upload all of their completed assignments, and that's how they get full credit for the day. And so we are guaranteeing that structure and that the student is actually completing those assignments as required by their contract. Our program detail includes Microsoft Word, Excel, Access, PowerPoint, and Publisher. It is a 12-week training program with daily assignments that include exercises, workbooks, worksheets, lab assignments, and projects. And these assignments are turned in daily, and that way we can monitor the progress that students are making on a daily basis. And so therefore, we're not waiting till the end of the week or the end of the subject. We know exactly what's going on with the students on a daily basis. And we also do what we call our weekly assessments, where students will receive their written assessment, and they actually get to keep them, and they are given a personal improvement plan if they need any additional one-on-one that's assigned to them, or if they need any help in any area, they receive it. The detail of learning QuickBooks includes setting up a business, running the business using QuickBooks, and entering their invoices, bills, checks, etc. Our curriculum the outline is orientation, which is a week prior to class. Here is where we set up those procedures, make sure that the student is well trained on how to accomplish and complete the training program. And we don't move forward unless everybody is equally trained and can actually function in this environment. Then we move on to week 1, which is PC literacy, internet, and email. This is where we go over all the fundamentals of the technology world, such as interacting with the internet, sending email, attachments, using social media, all of those important internet, online basic concepts that are needed for the technology digital world that we live in. Then there's 2 weeks of Word, 2 weeks of Excel, 1 week of Microsoft Access and Publisher, 2 weeks of PowerPoint, 2 weeks of QuickBooks, and then they have their finals. And finals are inclusive of a presentation where they have to create, like I have done this live webinar for you as an agency. This is where they also have to create their finals for graduation, and they are actually doing a PowerPoint presentation of all the areas that they have learned, all the projects that they have completed, and it works really great for when they do their job search. They can actually present that when they go for interviews. So it's very detailed, very hands-on, very informative. And these are some of the materials that they'll be receiving. each week. They get their training guide, their workbook. They also get their calendar and their outline. They complete a daily activity log report, a daily quiz, and like I said before, a daily assessment. So as you can see, this is very comprehensive and it is very detailed and very structured. Our learning style is different from the conventional academic learning versus the live instructor applied learning. So those of you who are concerned about going from a classroom environment to an applied learning and live instructor environment, no need to worry. We guarantee that anyone that you refer to us is going to not only complete their assignments, they're going to have fun doing it. They're going to be excited about getting up every morning and not having to worry about everything else that takes place in getting to a physical location, because they just sit down in front of their computer and they start the process. And we give them enough leverage so that not only do they feel comfortable in learning, but they feel comfortable in applying what they learn. And it's so important to have what you learn, you're able to apply it. We also have curriculum resources that we provide the students with, so they will be able to download our online interactive lessons for each subject. We also provide them with the software for Microsoft Office and QuickBooks, and so they don't have to purchase anything in terms of the software. The only thing that they have to buy for this class is their school supplies, which is a total of about $10, and they can get all of that from the dollar store. That's the only investment that they make. So if your training grant is $4,000, the school accepts that entire training grant as full payment. So there's no out-of-pocket expenses for the student, except for the fact that they, of course, have to have a laptop or desktop at home and a working printer, all-in-one printer that can scan their assignments and therefore allowing them to upload. Here is an illustration of our students in attendance. Like I said, all of our lectures are live and they start promptly on time at 10 a.m. And most importantly, all of our lectures are recorded. So students have the ability to replay the lecture over and over and over for those students who have difficulty concentrating or may doze off or may not be, fully engaged at some point throughout the 2 hours. So they can always go back to the recorded lecture and revisit it as many times as they would like. And we also do an additional lecture at 3 p.m. and that gives the student who has completed all their assignments, if they have any questions or comments, we can revisit everything and make sure everybody is on the same page moving forward to the next day. Each student will receive 2 certifications, one Microsoft Office Professional QuickBooks, and the other one is Business and Project Management. And that's important when they're looking for employment, because we are not a school where you just open up a book and you're completing 30, 40 pages of written assignments and you just follow step by step and you do it. We're not that type of school. What we are project driven. Students are given worksheets and a workbook, and they have to go out and research on the internet for the data that is needed to create assignments. And so therefore we are more like a job than we are a classroom, because when you're in the job and your boss says that they want you to create a PowerPoint presentation about the new product that we've just purchased or the new service that we will be delivering, it is up to you to be able to get the correct data, put it in a PowerPoint presentation, and be able to deliver it verbally to convince the client or the vendor or whomever you're selling to. And so that's how we create our curriculum, so that students are actually doing hands-on assignments to get the data that they create themselves, and then they in turn put it into the format of Word, Excel, Access, etc. So for example, if you're in Excel and you're creating a startup budget for a new project, and you have to get 3 caterers and you have to get a price on the equipment that's needed. So what we do is we have students go on the internet, research for that particular project, what is needed, and then they create that data and they put it into a format of a spreadsheet. So it's very hands-on again and direct training that can be applied. So those of you who are concerned about students not getting the training that you think they would get in the classroom, I want you to be very confident and very comfortable with the fact that they not only will be getting the training that they need for this online class, but it actually is a better format because it's more interactive, it's more hands-on, and it gives the student the confidence and the credentials that they need. Our record speaks for itself. We have 95% completion rate. We are doing this online training throughout the state of New Jersey. We also have a brick and mortar campus in Atlantic County that we've operated since 1990. And so we've been doing online training for the last 2 to 3 years, and it's been so successful. And all of our graduates have up to 1 year after successfully completing the class, the ability to take any of our online classes at no charge. And this is important because when they get their job, they may have to learn a task that they didn't have in school. Well, not only do they have access to the online classes, they also have access to that lesson software that they get to keep. And then, of course, they get to keep the software of Microsoft Office and QuickBooks so that they can also practice at home and also solve problems because they have those resources available to them at home. So I compassionately appreciate the fact that you've listened to this presentation, and I hope this justifies to you that we will do a good job with your clients in training them to not only be successful in completing this training program, but to also be successful in the job that they receive. And not only will they be able to outshine fellow employees, but they'll also be confident that they can get the job done regardless of what the task is. So I thank you for your time, and I will be contacting you with a follow-up phone call to ensure that you actually sat through this short presentation, and I'll be available to answer any questions that you may have in terms of our online module that I guarantee you will be a success for your clients. Thank you for your time.